So we have my favorite person in Wilmington here with me today. So thank you for coming to the studio.
I think your producer might be mad to hear about that. That's fine.
Dan Hollaway from the Drinkin Bros.
Yep.
I really appreciate you coming in today, talking to me and a bunch of ladies and guys and whatever here on Conversations with Angie or whatever. We don't even have a name yet, really, truly. It might be on set with Angie. It's just really conversations that I want to have with people who are interesting.
Well, I'm flattered that you think I'm interesting. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but we'll see, I guess.
Well, you're definitely smart because your jokes are funny, and I think that some of them.
Some of them cross the line, but I think I can't remember who it was that said this, but it may have been Carlin. But he said something like it's comedy's job to find the line and then go over it to see if that's really the line or not. You know what I mean?
You think
and test the boundaries of decency, I guess, if you might want to call it that. We've got a big problem in the country right now with people who are afraid to talk about anything.
They're afraid to talk about everything.
Yeah, just for fear of repercussion and stuff, and that's bullshit. So, the
politically correct verbiage is, that's not freedom of speech anymore.
No, it's nonsense. And look, there's no unbridled freedom of speech. You can't walk into a crowded movie theater and yell fire or anything like that. But you should be able to say fucked up shit sometimes. Well,
I think sarcasm is one thing.
Oh yeah.
And just being funny is another. But being a total jerk is, that's. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. You can. I mean, I think you can usually tell if it's coming from a good place or if somebody's actually an asshole, right? Yeah. So you never know. I get accused of both. So
I'm sure you do.
It's in the eye of the beholder, I suppose. But we have a pretty rough show. You've listened. You've been on it. So,
I've been on it.
Yeah.
You guys weren't rough with me.
Oh,
you guys were great.
It was kid gloves with you.
Oh yeah.
Because you're so super famous and special.
Oh please.
No, we had a good time. It was a good show.
No, I want to tour with you guys.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
I do. I want to come on some of your sporting events and come to the games and.
Yeah, you should totally do that.
I want to be like because you guys have like a little bit of a dick fest going over there.
Yeah,
you need some girls.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
You need some girls.
Well, there's not
in the mix.
You would think
with me and Jesse.
Yeah, well, she's gonna come on the cruise with us finally. So usually, she's got 2 young kids, so it's more difficult for her to travel sometimes. But we love it when she's on the road with us because she's super funny too.
She is funny,
and she busts my balls like nobody else does all the time. So that keeps me in check a little bit.
Speaking of busting your balls, thank you for dressing up for me today.
Oh yeah, I wore a t-shirt and
pants.
Pants, yeah. Yep.
I noticed.
Yep.
I mean, you made an effort.
Well, I actually got a bunch of messages because you talk so much shit on our show about me wearing board shorts everywhere, but that's the life I live. So. Oh
yeah.
I don't care.
People were into me making fun of you.
They thought it was funny, yeah.
Good.
Which is funny to me. So. Yeah, I wore a suit for the government for a long time, and I wore a uniform for the military before that, so I'm kind of like into relaxing now.
Well, I can understand that, but, I guess if you can wear board shorts to work, then you're doing something right then, right?
I wear flip-flops most of the time. I think it's an infantry thing. The guys who served in the infantry for a long time, we wear boots so much that once you get out, you just don't ever want to wear shoes again.
Or shoes, or is there a sock issue? When you
I don't know, maybe not, but they're foot prisons. Shoes are not into that. This is America. It's about freedom for my feet.
Well, my son doesn't wear socks or shoes hardly at all ever, so he likes freedom of his feet too. Good. He would be in flip-flops every day, every minute. He does not like shoes.
So I'm like on the same emotional level as a 10-year-old is what you're saying.
You're pretty close.
Got it.
I mean, but in a funny way.
Yeah. Well, he'll get there, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll get there.
Well, I hope he stays. I like the sweet version of my kid. He's good.
The teenage years are coming soon.
Yep.
So
I know.
We'll see what happens, right?
So, what made you go into the military? Was that like a big left turn moment that you?
No, I had always planned on doing it.
Really?
Even before. I mean, for my generation, 9/11 was a big factor for a lot of guys. So
mine too.
It's hard to say exactly why. There's an old quote and it's people sleep peacefully at night because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. And that spoke to me as a kid. I knew that I had to. This sounds kind of fucked up, but I knew that I had the capacity for violent behavior. And as someone who, carefully measures their actions, you have to wonder how to use that in some kind of good way, right? Like you can be an asshole, you can repress it, or you can go use it, in some kind of beneficial way.
Right.
War's been around for a very long time, and it's not going anywhere.
Forever. So, it's not. Yeah. I mean, it's.
And it's unfortunate. Like you can't, you don't, unless you're a politician, you don't really get to decide which wars you're going to be in, right? And politicians sure as shit aren't going to fight any wars, not anymore, anyways.
Well, once you were in it, did you feel like you were fighting the right cause?
Oh no, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. So once you get down, I mean, people have been talking about this for years, but once you get down to it, it's just like you get there in a shitty situation, and it's all about protecting the people around you. Yeah. Well, it's
in your group.
You don't really think about yourself that much, but you think about the people around you, and yeah, it's really unfortunate. I feel like being put in situations like that almost robs you of your honor. You hear a lot about it from the Vietnam group, especially. They were sent there on just a stupid fool's errand, basically. A lot of guys. I think we lost 65,000 people in that war. A lot more injuries, and people came back and they were treated poorly. And it's like, man,
horrible.
I did all this stuff, and like, where's the honor in anything that I did?
Right.
But maybe that's just cognitive dissonance. Maybe there is no honor in war. I don't know. Like it's brutal. You do fucked up shit, and in a way, most of the time, it's stuff that you have to do to stay alive. But that doesn't make it any better. And I think the mind at some point rebels at that stuff.
Do you remember everything, or you just try to forget about it?
Oh, I remember everything, yeah. But I wouldn't want to forget about it. One of the reasons is, particularly the guys that got fucked up over there. Like to me, it's disrespectful to forget about the stuff we did over there. But I don't
know. I've never been to war, so I really, and when I ask, I'm
asking
I don't
mean
in a really innocent way. I really have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, for people like me to like try to get past it or whatever, I don't believe in that shit.
Okay.
I don't think that's part of it for guys, and it shouldn't be. To me, that's just repressing. That doesn't help you with anything. It doesn't help anybody in any kind of traumatic situation.
So it's more for you about the Brotherhood and what you lived with the Brotherhood.
Yeah, which is why I do what I do now. Like the guys at Black Rifle Coffee that I work with, Jared Taylor, the guy who started the Drinkin Bros community originally, he and I deployed together in 2007 and 2008. We've been friends for over 10 years now.
What year did you deploy in?
2007 and 2008. So during the surge in Iraq,
right?
We were in Solder City for about a year and a half.
I was flying over there a lot.
With USO and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a difficult time, but you make friendships there that are closer to family, and it kind of becomes your family at some point. And I don't know if it's like that for other guys, but I kind of became.
Were you in Special Forces?
No, I was in the 82nd Airborne.
Okay.
Which is not Special Forces.
No.
But Jared was our JTAC. He's our Air Force air controller guy, so he would call in airstrikes for us and stuff like that. So we worked really closely together.
God, it's just I have 4 older brothers, and 2 of them were in the military, and I just remember when they left, and I as a civilian, we really have no idea what you do. I mean, it's in a sense like when you're over there, it is where we have a sense of movies, I think.
Yeah, and it's weird too because for us we're in war, and for all the locals that's their home. You know what I mean? So I mean, some guys try to be respectful of that, others don't. I don't know. There's a distracted soldier is a dead soldier, and hesitation will absolutely get you killed. So I understand the idea of trying to put that out of your mind and just focus on what you're doing. But that's not.
And you were focused 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think a lot of people talk about post-traumatic stress and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't really think it's from individual events. I think those don't help. But I believe they're effigies for the larger issue, which is being under constant stress for days, weeks, months at a time without any break. Right? You're like for example, we lived about 800 meters away from Solder City, which is about 2.5-3 million people.
Right.
And it was like 600 of us, just like in the middle of the city. So it's not great, and you had to be on alert all the time. So, excuse me. I think that's the thing that really...
How do you sleep like that?
You learn to, I guess. But even now, like at night, I wake up at the same times at night every day, unless I heavily drug myself, which I do recreationally sometimes anyway, so that's fine. But yeah, like we used to get... There were certain times at night where mortars would always drop on our building.
What time? A specific time?
About 2:30, yeah. So I wake up around then every night, just out of habit.
I wake up at like 4 o'clock every night. I don't know why. I don't know if I've trained my bladder or whatever it is, but
Maybe.
At 4 o'clock I get up every night. I'm told it's the witching hour.
The witching hour, what does that mean?
When spirits or whatever come out. I don't know. My friends have told me that. I'm like, 4 o'clock?
Yeah, that's...
Whatever.
Maybe you need to get on a different schedule with those witches or something.
I know.
That's really irritating. Like, they can come by later. It's
Yeah,
not a big
right.
deal. Like, what the fuck does witches have to do?
What's the deal with 4 o'clock? But I would wake up pretty much 4 o'clock every
Is
night.
that still going on?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll wake up and fall back asleep, but something will wake me up close to 4 o'clock.
It's probably not witches.
No, but it's just I'm waking up at 4 o'clock in the
Right.
morning. I don't think it's witches.
No.
I think it's my body waking up every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are you going to do? You got to use that time for something for good, right?
Oh, no, I go right back to sleep.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't fall back to sleep usually.
How much do you sleep?
I don't know.
You're not a big sleeper.
I would like to be, but it doesn't work out that way, you know. I have a difficult time falling asleep and then getting back to sleep after I wake up. But I don't know if that has anything to do with my military service. That just might be my circadian rhythm being fucked up, yeah.
Your brain process. Mm-hmm. Well, lately I've had a hard time going back to sleep. I maybe it's just I have a lot on my mind.
Yeah.
Probably.
That'll do it.
You know. I had all these questions for you, but my computer is not, so I'm going to wing it with you.
Okay.
Because it's not, I can't find it on there. And I'm not going to sit here and dig it up. So I want to talk about your skydiving.
Oh, I don't really, we jump out of static line planes. I don't really skydive that much.
Oh, okay.
It sucks.
Static line is not fun.
I've been
not
skydiving.
A fun skydiving.
No. It's like you jump from between
low altitude,
8 to 1,200 feet, and you're on the ground in like probably 10 to 15 seconds, something like that.
Are you jumping round parachutes or regular?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not great.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why everybody in my division's knees and back are all fucked up. I didn't.
Well, there's no control in that. You're just kind of.
Yeah, you just kind of float to the ground.
You kind of rush to the ground.
Well, if you're a guy my size, especially if you're jumping with combat gear, that's an extra like 100+ pounds of stuff. So, yeah, it's not great. I've been skydiving though; it's fun. It's a lot more fun for sure. I like doing that.
Yeah. Did you jump yourself or did you go tandem?
I've done both.
I bought 350 skydives.
Nice. Have you done any of them yet?
I have never jumped a round parachute though.
No, you don't want to do that.
No.
Fuck that.
I took a year off and went around the world and jumped out of airplanes.
That's fun. How many jumps did you do total?
Through about 350.
Yeah, that's good.
355, I think 354. Yeah.
It's fun, right?
A lot of fun.
It's like, did you have a fear of heights before that? I hear people say that, but
I'm afraid of sharks, not heights.
Well, Sharknado, right? There's a hurricane coming right now towards the coast.
I know there's a hurricane.
You think they're going to launch any shark? Because there's been some shark bites up and down the East Coast in the last couple of months.
They're having babies.
Oh yeah, big time. Sharks like to fuck for sure.
They're having babies.
Yeah.
So the water is murky. They don't like us.
Oh no. Well, sharks kill like 11 people a year, and human beings kill 11 million sharks a year or something like that.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy, yeah.
They're going to run out of food, so maybe they're going to start eating humans.
Well,
maybe they'll evolve.
I think we're just cooking the
get
food
the revenge.
for them. Yeah, can you imagine like
hey, you killed my kid.
My biggest fear is a shark with pit bull legs.
Oh man.
It's like wearing a respirator or something and it's just charging at you. Fuck that.
Yeah. I just took a picture with that Sharknado that there's in the movie theaters. They have that, and my son was standing in front of it, and just even the picture of my kid standing in front of a shark's open mouth freaks me out.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sharks. I mean, I don't. I don't know. It just seems like a bad idea. People that get in cages and then go down to see a shark. Why, dude? Why would you do that?
Well, what inspires you then? You have all kinds of military experience. You do Drinkin Bros. You love to play video games.
I mean, you know, I don't love to. It's just something to do to relax. So my brain is firing all the time. Mm-hmm. So my downtime when I'm relaxing.
Do you have downtime in your brain?
Well, I have to overstimulate it, right? So I'll like play a game and then have a movie playing on my iPad next to me at the same time. And then intermittently text people or look at stuff.
You're watching porn. Don't.
Oh yeah.
Admit it.
No, well, I mean, look, relax. Of course, I'm watching porn, but I didn't want to say that to your poor audience here.
No, I'm sure they can handle it.
No, yeah, I have to watch so you can't watch porn and play video games at the same time, right? I don't think so. I'll try tonight.
I don't know.
I'll let you know. I'll come back on the show next time.
I've never tried.
Well, don't lie to me.
I haven't.
You just don't play video games.
You're right.
So there it is. No, I have to overstimulate my brain a lot to get it to shut the fuck up. So,
what's your favorite video game?
You know, I like sports games, to be honest, because I like numbers. Mm-hmm. So I like to do math. It's so stupid. It's not very interesting to anybody that is.
Do you have a favorite number? Because I met a math like this math genius, and his is 9.
Why?
Because he says everything comes back to 9.
What does that mean?
Just all like equations, and when my son was 9, he was like, all equations, they end up coming back to 9. And he was talking about how he was going to do a different calendar and make a different calendar for people, and he could. Have you ever heard about the guy who can add like any number?
Oh yeah.
Him.
Those I'm interested in that kind of stuff. Yeah,
he's amazing.
But I'm not that smart. Those guys are like on another level.
Yes.
But I do like,
and he's
stuff
not.
Like that.
You know, he's not. Because I always thought that people were that smart or had like a autistic tendency, but this guy is totally normal. I mean, normal.
Yeah,
it's normal.
Who knows? Yeah, that's I like. I don't know if I have a favorite number. There's some interesting stuff like the golden ratio, right? You're familiar with that?
No.
Like the Vitruvian Man, that whole situation, the distance between the middle of your chest and the end of your fingers and your height and all that stuff. It's all
right.
Like you can predict things based on that. That's super interesting to me. It doesn't make any sense why it would exist. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When you see, there's so many incongruities in the way that we understand science, but math is math. Like we don't understand why a lot of stuff exists, but math will always be math. So that's interesting to me. But I don't.
What did you do in the military? Did you have anything to do with math?
No, I shot people in the face.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, in the body sometimes too.
Wow.
Sorry to your fans. I was in the infantry, so we go out and fuck shit up. That's our job. But it's like, you know, precision
That's
style.
tough.
We don't just like blow people up for no reason.
Well, from a distance or close up?
It depends on the day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Any remorse out of that? Or that's just your job?
There's a song by Lamb of God, one of my favorite bands, and it's called Remorse is for the Dead.
No, that's what you were just saying.
Yeah.
You take a moment, then you're dead.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, so it's like, you know, no.
What's your favorite gun?
My favorite gun? I carry a Glock 43 around every day. It's a little 9mm, about that big. Mm-hmm. I could show you if you'd like, but...
Sure.
No, that's all right. You might get demonetized on YouTube if you do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're sensitive.
About guns?
Oh, yeah, big time. Everybody's sensitive about it now.
Do you have a license? You have to have a license to carry a gun, right? My brother's a sheriff. I was just talking on the last show about how that we took my son out and gave him one of those the weighted BB guns.
Oh yeah. Like it feels like a real one. Yeah.
Feels like a real gun. It was really, really cool.
Yep.
And he trains all the cops and the SWAT in Denver. So he's
that's
a master armsman.
That's weird. There's a chance I might know him actually.
Greg Everhart in Colorado.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Because my buddy Joe owns most of the gun stores in Denver.
Yeah.
So I bet we've run into each other before.
He's a badass.
I have to check into that now.
Okay. Should have him on your show. He's a lot of fun. His brain is on overdrive as well.
We do a lot of stuff with first responders.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're actually doing something called Project Peacekeeper right now, and they give watches and sunglasses, like Oakley sunglasses and G-Shock watches to first responders. And if they get damaged in line of duty, they replace it for free and all this stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
My brother's really funny too.
Is he?
Yeah,
well, you got to
really
be.
Funny.
That's guys that like us and that operate in those kind of environments. You have to develop kind of a fucked up sense of humor.
Right.
Otherwise, you can't do it. You know what I mean?
He sends us some pictures sometimes that are kind of
questionable. Yeah. Yeah.
But that kind of thing doesn't gross me out. It should. I guess maybe it should gross me out, but it does. I mean.
No, it's sharks with you.
Sharks.
That's what fucks you up.
It does. They do. Jaws fucked me up.
Did you watch all 4 of them?
I did.
Really?
And it's still.
So you torture yourself watching this movie about this. That's probably why you're so afraid of sharks.
Because of the movie?
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think that's good. I actually have a theory that the government has aliens, and they're using television and film to warn us about which aliens are good and which are bad. So if you see an alien cruising around that looks like E.T., he's probably a good guy. Right. Glowing finger, maybe he'll heal you a little bit. But if you see
ouch.
Yeah, if you see the predator,
run.
Get the fuck out, right? And I think that's what the government's doing. They're slowly releasing information.
Men in Black.
Yeah. That last one sucked though.
It did. It was
terrible.
So good, even though it had Chris in it.
Yep. He's a beautiful man, but even his beauty couldn't make up for that shitty movie. You can't do Men in Black without Will Smith. Come on, man.
I agree, but he was Aladdin. He chose to do Aladdin, and
I haven't seen that. Is it good? The Aladdin movie. Have you seen it?
I have.
You're not answering the question.
Well, in whose point of view? My point of view, I didn't really like it. No, I thought my son enjoyed it immensely, but he's 10.
Yeah, he doesn't know who Robin Williams is.
I know, right? So, he was so good in that.
He was good in everything.
Yes, he was.
What's that movie he did? What Dreams May Come or whatever? Remember that with Cuba Gooding Jr.? That was a great movie.
Yeah,
it's kind of hokey, but I thought it was good.
I don't think he was bad in anything.
No. Father of the Year. That was a good movie that he did toward the end of his career. Did you see that one?
No.
It's fucked up. It's like he's a high school English teacher or something, and his kid's a total jerk off. And the kid hangs himself while jerking off, actually. So he dies.
Like
autoerotic asphyxiation. He dies doing it. So he hangs.
Like what's his name? The guy from INXS did that.
Oh yeah, and
I knew him.
David Carradine and some other guys.
Do you think Chris Cornell might have been in that?
I don't know. I never heard anything about that.
No?
Maybe. You never see women doing that, that's for sure. Like, when's the last time you saw some woman jerking herself off with a belt tied around her neck? That's not even a thing.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. There's fetish women out there.
Well, if you're out there, ladies, put those videos on the internet so I can watch them. Right. I just want to see what it's like. I'm not going to ask somebody to do it, but if you're already doing it, I want to see it. Right. That seems fair to me.
Sure. Whatever tickles your pickle, man. Why don't we take a break on that thought? When it comes to keeping my smile white, I only trust Oral Gen New Pearl Advanced Teeth Whitening System for sensitive teeth. With no harsh chemicals or peroxide, New Pearl offers a unique 99% natural formula that delivers professional results previously only available from your dentist.
Save 50% now on the New Pearl 32X Teeth Whitening Kit. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Visit oralgen.com/livewithangie to order now.
Okay, so coming back to something you said a couple minutes ago when the cameras were not rolling, you said that this was all, what'd you say? We were in somebody else's simulation.
Well, I think I don't know, but it seems likely that we're in some kind of simulation, right?
What do you mean by that?
There's too many, weird things that happen. Like the Catholic guilt thing, right, is a good example of this. So part of it is the guilt. Like, things are going well, and as a Catholic, you think, oh, shit, something's coming, right? But it's because we've been trained to believe that, because when things are going right, all of a sudden some random bullshit will happen.
Are you Catholic?
No.
Okay, so do you don't? I mean, I don't really have a lot of guilt. don't spend my days.
No.
Do you spend your days with guilt?
No. Guilt is pointless. That's a useless emotion. But the point of that is that we've come to expect stuff to happen oddly and in ways that we can't understand. I think we might be.
And so that's in somebody else's simulation.
Maybe, yeah.
So the Earth, you said, explain it. Like, so the Earth...
so this is I borrowed that. That's from a book called The Time Traveler's Guide to the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. And it's an old, like, cult classic sci-fi book. And they made a movie out, actually, with Zooey Deschanel and what's his name? Martin Freeman. The guy from Sherlock and the original Office and all that shit. Anyways, the point of the book is that these ancient aliens are trying to decipher what the purpose of life is. And they run this test, and it takes millions of years, and it just spits out the number 42. And they're like, oh, we forgot to ask it what the question was. So now they're trying to determine what the meaning of life is, and Earth exists as an experiment to try to figure out what the meaning of life is, basically. I think something like that is probably unlikely.
Not the number 9. But the number 42.
Well, I don't even know what the fuck that means anyways, the number 42. What does that mean? I don't think it ever really explains it in the book, but...
I think it's just a random number, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But all of this is so... Everything is so, like, simultaneously random and ordered that it seems unlikely. It seems like...
Do you believe in afterlife?
No.
Just, this is it. So you don't... You know, because sometimes I'll have dreams and I can speak Russian in my dreams.
Right.
So how is that possible? Is it just because we're connected in so many ways that we don't know?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I hope that's the case. I think that it would be awesome to live in a simulation, though. Like the Matrix, for example. I would have taken whichever pill kept me in the Matrix, as long as
rather than waking up and being
fucking living in a ditch underground.
Yeah,
fuck
right.
that shit.
Yeah, me too.
No way I would have done that. I would have stayed in the Matrix, but
with the girl in the red dress.
Yes, fully aware that I'm in it. That way I can just show up and, like, plug my brain into something and learn a new thing and just go do it. That would be exciting to me.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
If you could actually do that, just like, here, okay, now I speak Japanese.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Why would you not want to do that?
I would want to do that.
Instead of living underground.
So do you think we have a capacity? Because a lot of people, I mean, we can put so much information in our head. Then what do you do with it? Where does it, like?
That's a good question. So the fastest supercomputers on Earth operate at about, I think 1/10 of what the human brain can right now. So they're getting closer to being able to mimic it. But the human brain is so much more powerful than even these computers. It just doesn't operate. We can't organize and remember things as fast, right?
I wonder why.
Because it's not optimized for that. We have...
so we don't remember it. We don't remember the bad.
Well,
it retains the good.
I'm not sure what the purpose of it is. I just know that it's not optimized. Like cross synaptic firing, we have the way memories are made and stuff like that. It's not really optimal. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any purpose to it. I think it's just random. But
random things that you remember. My memory sometimes, because I actually died on the operating table, so my memory is I have holes in my huge holes in my memory, and which really sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'll see people that I used to know, and they'll say, "Hey, Angie, what's going on?"
Yep.
And I don't remember it. So I would like to optimize my brain a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're getting closer to being able to manipulate the brain.
I think that's happening
from the outside.
I think.
The problem is that the U.S. is so butthurt about everything. Like, people in the United States are the biggest snowflakes on Earth. They're constantly whining about everything. Meanwhile, China's buying up property all over the world and developing new technology, and we're just sitting around whining about which gender, someone is or something. I don't give a shit what people do. Go live your life, dude. No one cares about that shit anymore.
But you care about what China's doing.
I care. Well, it's not about it being China. I think we need to make some concerted efforts to advance as a species at some point. Stop thinking about who's who or who's doing what or any of that bullshit, and start, like, trying to figure out a way to get off this planet. Because Carl Sagan used to say it's really stupid to put all your eggs in one basket with regard to just one planet. Like, we have to start exploring space very soon. Otherwise,
well, you don't think they're doing that now? They're doing that now.
Who is that, China?
Well, not only China, but I think America is,
I mean, we're looking into
Elon Musk.
Yeah, we're trying. Yeah, but I mean, look, JFK decided in 1961 that we're going to go to the moon, and by 7.5 years later, we were on the moon. So, look, it's not like...
Well, they're going to go to Mars, I think, by the end of the year.
We'll see,
that Mars project.
Yep.
Yeah, that fascinates me. Would you go?
No.
No?
No, I don't care about that.
No?
No, it's just, maybe if I had some kind of terminal disease, I would go. But there's plenty of cool shit to do here. I guess it depends. It depends. If they sent me with a lot of cool people and a bunch of drugs, yeah, I would do that. Just give me a bunch of mushrooms and LSD and shit, and I'll fucking go to Mars.
I think I'd get a little weirded out on Mars.
Yeah, that's the point, right?
Yeah.
You don't take mushrooms to feel normal.
No, I would do it to feel good rather than bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there you go. That would be fun. I would love to do that. And maybe I would go. I don't know. There's just so much cool shit here that I still haven't done.
Do you have a bucket list?
No.
No?
Not really. I just do stuff. Like it's a bucket.
What's the craziest thing you've done that is fun?
Nope.
Yeah, you're not telling it. Oh, with your eye.
No, we're not getting into that. I mean, I've done a lot.
Nope.
I've done a lot of crazy shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of fun, not bad.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
You're not gonna divulge.
I mean,
any of
skydiving is fun. I don't think it's all that crazy, but I'd like to. Jared and I, one of my co-hosts, and Ross as well. Yeah, I don't think you've met Jared yet, but you will. We like to troll people. That's our favorite thing to do.
Do what?
Troll people, like fuck with people.
Okay.
On like deep levels. So he, for example, this isn't me, but this is a current example. He joins like Facebook groups of homeowners associations that he's not even in, and he just like complains about weird shit.
Right.
And then says that he like says, oh, by the way, I just want to let everyone know that I reserved the pool for this weekend. We're going to have like a swingers event there. And it's clothing optional swingers event, so make sure your kids aren't around. And people just lose their fucking minds. We like to do stuff like that.
That's pretty funny,
because we've done
because homeowners associations.
Oh, it's the worst.
Are horrible.
It's all Karens. They're all asking for the manager all the time. They're all butthurt. They have nothing better to do. None of them have jobs. They're just like housewives that have nothing to do.
Well, it's not necessarily all housewives. Let me tell you, I saw some guy on the plane the other day that probably belongs to that homeowner's group.
Oh yeah, what was he doing?
He yelled at a little girl for moving his bag on the plane.
Oh. Wow.
It was really awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great. Probably a great dude.
Yeah.
So we've done like. He's the same as me, just jumping out of planes, flying planes,
nice.
War, drugs, all kinds of crazy shit. So it's like, how can we entertain ourselves now? Messing with people is the easiest thing in life to do, and it's also fun.
So when was the last time you had a girlfriend? Why do I say that so condescending?
Let's see. I don't know. You sounded like a real asshole right there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because you sound like you like to be like by yourself more than...
No, I
than with people.
It depends. The right people. I like small groups of people.
Okay. I didn't mean to be mean to you, but
this is the second time.
What comes off is that you come off to me as somebody very solitary.
I am, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's why you don't come off to me as like fuzzy teddy bear type of guy.
Oh, I am though. For
you
real,
are?
Yeah. When it's the right person, for sure. But
okay.
I think everybody's like that. Like every people act differently when they feel feelings and stuff, and I don't feel that many feelings. So when I do, it gets pretty serious.
Okay.
Yeah, but right now, not so much.
Not so.
We're just too busy. I mean, we're on the road all the time. I don't like to do something unless I can really commit to it.
Right.
So, it's like what's the point? That all ends in bitterness for the most part.
Not necessarily. It could end in some of the best things that ever happen in life.
Like what?
Kids. Those are some of the best things. But if you don't want a kid, then, and I never thought I wanted a kid. So I was, having a blast in my life, and I didn't realize how cool they are. So
I'm sure I would enjoy that, yeah. But I've got 2 little dogs now. My only concern is that
dogs are a good step towards that.
I don't know. You can't lock a kid in a cage all weekend.
Oh my God. You have 4 dogs.
No, it's a crate. I mean, it's a dog. I don't leave them in all weekend. I'm just saying I can't leave them in. You can't put your kid in a crate for 8 hours and come to work and then go back home.
No, you
I don't
cannot.
think the 2 are comparable at all.
They are actually a little bit, because it teaches responsibility.
Right.
So you can't leave a dog in a cage for all day long. I mean, you can, but that's a real jerk move.
Well, I was a sergeant in the Army, so I had to deal with 18 and 19-year-old kids, which are they act like children. They're just drunk children at that point. So I don't know. That's challenging. My only really concern is that I'm probably going to die alone in my place, and my dogs are going to eat me, right? Because they're dogs. They don't fucking know. And they'll get hungry after a while. Or if this hurricane hits and the power goes out, they've got about 2 or 3 hours before I eat them, just in case. You know what I mean? Because I don't want them to eat me.
I'm going to tell you what one of my greatest fears, actually. I'm going to tell you my greatest fear. That the power goes out and stays out.
Yeah. Forever, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
And the breakdown of society when power goes out.
Yeah, I actually wrote...
That, to me, scares the hell out of me.
I wrote a paper in my master's degree for this. I have a master's degree in international homeland security. And
I did not know.
If our energy grid were to go out, 3 million people would die in the first week. Just people who are infirmed or
3
old.
3 million people?
Yep. So 1% of our population would be gone like that.
And then in 3 days, isn't it something like 3 days of a breakdown? People would just go nuts.
You would think so, yeah. But look, I'll be fine. Because I know how to do certain things, so I would be good. But
well, I think the guys that have the guns would definitely be fine.
Yeah, only about 10%, or what is it? 10% of the country own guns, something like that. It's like 30 million, 36 million people. So maybe
that's
more
the
like
case,
15 million.
I'm going to my brother's house. I'm trying to find him and go in there.
Just get on the road and don't stop for anybody. Like pretend you're Reginald Denny and you're trying to avoid. That's an old joke, but some of you will get there. Some of you will get there, right?
Yeah, assuming, yeah. Yeah, that's my worst. Ugh.
Yeah, it would suck. That's why I don't want to go to Mars, because I need constant entertainment. Like, I feel like life is really boring. But then again, when I'm camping and shit, I don't sit around all bored. I go find stuff to do. So maybe...
Well, I think that's a completely different thing, though. With Mars, it's a start up.
Yeah.
With losing power, it's a breakdown first. It would be a breakdown of society. It wouldn't be a start up of society. It would be total breakdown first, and then a restart.
Yeah.
So the breakdown is what scares me, and how people would be lawless and just mass population.
Do you think people would be more lawless than they are now?
Yes.
Why?
Because there's no security systems and no computer systems to keep things in check. So yes, I do. I think that people would go nuts, and I think it would take less than a week.
I think that the enforcement agencies would just have to decide to be more brutal to handle the situation.
That's why I said the man with the weapon is the winner.
For the most part. In that case. Yeah. Yeah, people would certainly stop caring so much about gender pronouns and stuff if the world was on fire, I imagine. But that's the point of civilization, is to rid us of these, issues of violence and danger, and try to become more peaceful. And always you turn inward and start to examine yourself and then society at large. So it makes sense that we're here. Everybody keeps, I keep reading these things where everybody's like, how did we get here? Like, this totally makes sense. This is how society progresses. But at some point you got to turn it back around and be like, okay, here's what's actually important. Like, let's take care of each other.
Family.
Family,
friends.
Drugs
in your case.
And sharks. You got to keep those sharks around too.
Well, yeah, they're a predator. You need predators.
That's why I exist.
It doesn't mean I'm not going to be scared of them, of course. But
yeah, of course.
I've been doing a lot of in reflection of myself, and that's part of the reason why I started doing this podcast, is to get what inspires people. And do you have a motto?
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it a motto, but there's a book called The Moral Landscape by a guy named Sam Harris. And it kind of explores the scientific approach to morality, right? So his premise is that the most moral and ethical something would be to inspire or create human joy or conscious joy. And the worst something can be is to create conscious suffering, right? So our goal as human beings should be to promote conscious joy and prohibit conscious suffering in any way.
And you read that book?
Yeah. What do you mean I read that book? What does that mean?
Because you make these crazy jokes about all different things.
Yeah. Well, extrapolate that a little bit though. So
I'm teasing you.
I know, but think about it for real. If the idea is to promote conscious joy and mitigate conscious suffering, that might mean going to North Korea and fucking wiping that place off the map. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, in the aggregate, if you kill everybody that's suffering or kill everybody that's a threat to joy.
Who are you to tell them
that
they're suffering?
Well, they are definitely suffering, but that's a fair point, right? It's all part of the conversation. So the point of that statement was that you can take it to extremes in either way, and that's something you need to avoid. But in general, that's the premise. That's what I try to do, is mitigate conscious suffering and promote conscious joy in any way I can. And sometimes
you really are a teddy bear.
Sometimes you do it with a hug, and sometimes you do it with a fucking gun, right? Like if somebody's being an asshole to somebody else, some dictator or something, I'm gonna go show up and blow that dude's brains out of the back of his head. But if he's, if it's one of my friends and they're having a tough time, I'm gonna slap him on the back and tell him to, it's gonna be all right.
So I do this. Usually I do it at the beginning of my show, but my computer kind of didn't give me and I like to have a little bit of foreplay. And so it's not really foreplay at this point.
Right. It's post-play, which really is foreplay to the next round, really.
Sure.
That's how that goes.
And I like to do a play on words and get people's, kind of see what people's mindsets are. But you're a very complex person. And so I'm going to give you different words than...
Okay.
Aliens.
Is that, do you just want me to respond?
I do, however you want to respond.
There's like 2 trillion galaxies in the known universe. Each one of those has somewhere between 2 and 400 billion stars. Just the Milky Way galaxy alone, I think there's like 64 million habitable planets or some shit like that. It's some crazy ass number. And if you think about the Drake equation, which kind of you plug all these numbers in, it tells you about how many civilizations should exist. I think there's probably billions of other civilizations. It makes sense that there would be.
Absolutely.
But I don't think...
I hope that they would, but I don't know that they look like people.
There's no way to know. They may not even be carbon-based. It could be anything, right? And there's no reason to think that they would have run into us. Like our original... The only way they would know we exist is through radio transmissions.
It would take too long to get here.
Yeah, and we've only been doing that for about 100 years. Mm-hmm. So unless they have some kind of faster than light travel, there's no way we would have. Maybe, but from what we know about black holes, it would spaghettify like solid material. Like if you tried to go through one, it would pull a string of you through, and you would be dead immediately. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting to think about. Like at some point in humanity's future, we should run into aliens at some point.
So one of my favorite pictures that I collect photography, but there's a guy who sits outside in Arizona, and it takes him a year to do one photo.
Oh yeah, it's the aperture thing, yeah.
And it goes into deep space, and it's the coolest picture because it makes me realize in life that I'm nothing.
Yeah, we're all very insignificant.
That it's just a speck, but it's
still significant at the same time, in a lot of ways.
Well, it always just brings perspective when I look at this picture. Mm-hmm.
Is it like the Hubble Deep Field or something?
Yeah, and you can see the horse that's bigger than our galaxy.
Yeah.
In the picture, the horse is probably as big as my finger. Mm-hmm. And so I was sitting there asking him how long it takes him to do each one because he didn't have many pictures.
Right.
And he was explaining to me what he sees, and I just was fascinated that we don't even really think about that because we can't imagine getting that far. We can't get there.
No, I mean there's, as far as stars in the known universe, I think there's something like 4 with 32 zeros behind it. That's how many there are. Mm-hmm. So it's
4 with 32 zeros.
Yeah, something like that. So it's like incomprehensible.
That's how much I love my son.
Yeah. It's not 3,000 like Tony Stark said.
No.
God, you just have to outdo Robert Downey Jr., don't you? It's all right. It's all right. No spoilers, by the way.
Right. That's I got it.
I like aliens.
I do too.
I like the idea of it.
Next one is women.
I don't know what to say about that really. Here one thing that jumps into my mind is the idea of equality, which I think is important.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to be reasonable about that. Like, there aren't a whole lot of 6 foot tall, 225-pound women.
No.
You know what I mean? That can do certain things. And they're also, like, you guys have a much deeper understanding of empathy and compassion than we do. I think it works
built
together.
in our brain.
Yeah, it's
Our
genetic.
brains are different.
So it's interesting to me to look at what is different about different cultures and gender and stuff like that. And the result, I think, of that thought experiment should be to figure out what we can do best with that information. I think that should be the result of any experiment, right? So instead of saying, well, like, people are talking shit, like, oh, women can do that, and then the response is, fuck that, women can never do that. Like, who gives a shit? Like, just shut the fuck up and live together.
I mean, there's some women that can do close to the same things that men can do, but I think it's just being, like you said, being reasonable, because I don't want to do some of the things that men do.
No, I don't. I mean, but some women do.
Well, I my motto was, I have a motto of live like a man, love like a woman.
Right.
And, I want to live free.
Yeah.
And I want to do what I want, and I want to do what I want with my body, and I want to do what I want whenever I want. And in other generations and other cultures, women can't do that. So
no, for sure. I mean, we're American exceptionalism being what it is. I think we are living in probably the best country in the world for sure. For that reason.
For sure. I mean, I've traveled as much, if not more, than you have.
Oh yeah.
7 passports. And,
yeah.
And I Morocco, men spit on me because I didn't have the right clothes on.
Yeah.
Africa, I got chased out of villages because I had red hair because I was going to turn their cows. Oh, yeah. It's just like really crazy circumstances. So, I definitely believe we sort of live in the land of free.
We do. I mean, it fluctuates, but that's what freedom's all about, right? The tree of liberty has to be refreshed from time to time by the blood of patriots and tyrants, right? That's a really old saying. But going back to women, I think it's the way we talk about things is super important too. Everybody gets super reactionary, so they start using harsh language to discuss these things. Like people.
Well, you're a perfect example of harsh language.
I am, right?
You are.
I am. I use it, I think, in an effective way, though. I don't refer to women as bitch at all because I think it's been used. Well, I do if they're my friends. Right? Okay. But
I said biatch.
Is that right? Is that because you're from the streets, though? Right.
No, but I just. What's up, biatches?
Yeah. It's that particular word has been used a lot to refer to women who are just exercising the same authority in public that men do, and I don't have a problem with that. I think if you see a woman in a strong position that's doing shit and fucking knife-handing people and saying shut the fuck up, she's probably doing what she thinks is right or trying to get the job done. And if you feel a certain way about that, maybe that's your problem and not hers. You know what I mean? So shut the fuck up. I like bossy chicks. Cool. I like confident people in general.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like pussies.
I do too.
So
I do too.
That.
I don't know why when I say porn for you,
I think porn is great.
Yeah. Well, most guys do.
Yeah. Most people do.
No, I think that men like porn. I don't know. More than I think it depends on the person.
I think people that are my age and younger, I think it's changed now. I think people that are my age and younger are a little more open about that stuff.
You think?
Yeah. Just based on my personal experience. There's a lot less taboo these days. And people openly talk about sex a lot more than they did back in the day, for sure. For
sure. I don't have a problem with talking about sex at all. I'm not a huge lover of, like, it's disgusting porn.
Well, look, I mean, there's a lot of weird shit out there.
Yeah.
But also, you guys are more mentally stimulated than visually, too. That's a genetic thing, so, it's in your DNA. It's kind of hard to get past that. But some people like it, some people don't. We talk to a lot of porn stars. We know a lot of them. We have them on the show and stuff all the time. And, look.
I know a lot of porn
stars. There are a mostly shit shows. Like it's exactly what you would expect.
Okay, so your next word is confidence.
Confidence. Confidence is the best. It's the sexiest thing. And fake confidence is bad. I don't like that because you can see through it immediately. And that's really, fake confidence is just like even worse insecurity to me.
Right.
But I like people that are confident. And to me, when you come in confident, that means you feel prepared.
Right.
And maybe you are and maybe you're not. You're going to learn the lesson one way or the other. But there's so much bullshit, especially in the media these days. People just say shit and it's not even true. And then they don't like address that later on. So that's one of the biggest things about people are like...
well, there's an opposite example of that because I know that Howard used to say a lot of stuff that he didn't believe in, and he would just say it just to get a rise out of people.
Well, he's a comedian. He's supposed to do that. Like I doubt Dave Chappelle just came out with a new special, and it is scathing. Like it's fucked up. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have not.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it when I get out of here tonight. Actually, that's my big plan for tonight. So.
And play video games.
Well, we'll see. Depends on how hard I laugh. But yeah, he supposedly it's just he just goes after everybody. And look, people make jokes about sex and gender and gay people and people of color and shit like that. I grew up in an all black neighborhood, so I'm going to tell some fucked up jokes because I've been hearing that shit since I was a kid. But you can tell. I feel like you can usually tell when it's coming from a place of hate and anger, and when it's just like we're making fun of each other because that's how you break down walls between each other.
That's true.
Like if
that's true. I have a friend of mine who's just his sense of humor is wrong, but he is the funniest person that I know. Yeah, and I like his sense of humor, but his delivery. It just depends to me on the delivery.
Oh yeah.
Because if the delivery is not, it's not malice.
Yep.
Then. Great.
Yeah.
Then don't be so sensitive.
No, if you walk into that's exactly right. If you walk into a team room in the military and you don't see guys talking shit to each other and fucking with each other, calling each other hillbilly and stupid shit like that,
right?
Then something's wrong, right? Because they're not friends. Because that's how male.
Or they're not. Yeah, or something's going down.
Yeah. Male friends talk shit to each other constantly.
So do girls.
Yeah, you guys are probably worse than us.
So do girls, but
it's different.
It is different because girls talk a lot about sex and guys. Yeah.
It's funny if you ask a woman, like if a woman asks another woman if she banged some dude that she went out with this weekend, she will get a very detailed. And if a dude like asks the same question of another dude, it's like, yeah, fucked her. Like, thanks, guy. That was super and creative. But yeah, you're right. Girls are fucked up.
Well, some are.
Nope.
Somewhere.
You guys have way dirtier minds than we do. That's a fact. Because you're more
visual.
No, you're less visually stimulated. Typically, that's why you don't watch the porn. Yeah. You just make the porn up. That's why you read those stupid fucking romance novels.
Very, very visual. Yes, one of the reasons why I love Chris Hemsworth so much.
Yeah, well, everybody loves him. Okay, he's a beautiful man.
Yeah.
It's just too bad he was in that shitty movie. But what are you going to do? Some people are in shitty movies. Did you see the latest Avengers movie?
I did. I cried.
Was it upsetting?
I was very upset.
I haven't been able to ask any women what they thought about his role in that one. But
I was devastated by that.
You were devastated that he was a fat piece of shit in that movie.
I was. He wasn't Thor. He wasn't strong. Yeah. He wasn't written that way.
I didn't know that Thor could even get fat.
He's like, isn't he supposed to be a god?
Yeah.
Of gods? I mean, why would he let him? I don't know. I just got bothered by that, by Thor.
It was kind of funny, but it was weird.
Well, I thought they were trying too hard to be funny.
Yeah.
And Chris Hemsworth has one of the finest bodies I've ever seen on anybody. He is a visual orgasm.
Yep. He's a very beautiful man.
He is just...
Good. The other thing that bothered me about that movie was the ends, like during the last...
I named my car Chris after him.
You named your car?
I did. I named my car Chris. There's that stupid commercial that's on TV. I named my car Brad.
No, I haven't seen that.
There's an insurance commercial, and the girl starts off, I named my car Brad. and it runs all over West Coast. And so I named my car Chris.
You should get a picture of him. Just put it on the side of the car.
I don't need to do that.
Let me know if you do, because I know people that wrap cars out there. So
and
we'll
put Chris Hemsworth on my car.
Just little Chris Hemsworth faces all over the car. Why not? Yeah, I was going to say the other thing that was weird about that movie to me was one of the last battle scenes where all the female characters get together and attack Thanos at once.
Yes.
Like,
they stood together, women united, for once.
That was stupid.
Well,
like,
because
the
they
woman
all
that they
came
were
back at the same time. They brought them all back from the dead, basically.
Yeah. But like Captain Marvel is the most powerful person in any of these. Like, she didn't need any help from any of these people. I thought it was like ham-handed a little bit. Like, there's a lot of ways they could have done that differently to promote togetherness in women or whatever the fuck. But that was, like you said, with it, they were trying a little too hard in that movie, I think.
I think they did a lot.
It was still good. I still liked it.
I had a hard time with it.
Because of Hemsworth.
Oh, yeah.
God, you were that in love with this guy that you just couldn't.
I love him.
Well.
Anyway, but he's married, so I like Thor.
You can sabotage his marriage.
No, I don't want to do that. I like Thor, not Chris. I like the Thor character, like, because I don't like him as much as in other roles. But
so you think really highly of yourself then, right? Because you think he's a god.
I just like Thor. I wasn't. Am I? Yeah, sure. Why not? Why am I supposed to not think highly of myself?
Confidence.
Yeah.
I like that. You should be with a god. But there is no Thor, so you're going to have to figure something else out.
Yeah.
But he's a human being. You can go find this guy.
He's married.
Again.
Yeah.
Technicality.
No. Morality.
Oh, I don't do that.
Yeah, I do. I do. I don't do married. But so
take this down a weird path.
Yep. Thank you for coming on my show and taking me down several weird paths.
Yeah, I like doing these kind of shows because it's a challenge for me not to go too far. Because on our show we just we do whatever the fuck. Yeah, we write notes a little bit, but we intentionally don't discuss things before because we want to get genuine reactions out of each other. So if you see us laughing, it's because you're really cracking up. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, of course.
And I would really love to, I wasn't kidding. I want to be the girl on you guys' show. I want to come around and hang out with you guys.
Yeah, you should.
I think it'd be fun.
You should. We go to a lot of games. We'll be in Dallas next week, actually. Next weekend. What day is it? Today's Saturday, right?
Today's Saturday.
Yep.
Awesome.
You have to come on the cruise with us next year. You can be part of the entertainment.
That would be fun.
Yeah, just get up there and talk some shit to people.
I would love that.
Yeah. It's fun. It's going to be 250 of our fans just raging.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I'll take you up on that.
Good.
Thank you for going into space with us. I'm Angie Everhart. I'm out.